In today's session of Visual JForex, we will be continuing our algorithm development using the indicator force index. This is the second part, and in today's session, the focus is going to be on completing the buy side of the equation. So let us now head to the Visual JForex board, which has been developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA. Here, the setup includes is a instrument subscription where the default instrument has been defined as USD JPY. Then the position amount was defined as 0. And after that, I got these force index blocks. These two are of 4 hours each, and these two are of hourly time period with the varying shift values. Other parameters are the same. Then these three get historical candles to look at the price action and accordingly place the order. So now we will have to add the requirements which need to be fulfilled by the price action for the trade to be placed. So I will briefly give you a refresher of how the algorithm should be going about executing the trade. Our algorithm is combination of two time periods. First requirements are defined on the 4 hourly time period, and then after that we also take into consideration the price action on the hourly time period. So that's how we have designed this algorithm. And for any buy trade to take place, we will need the force index output value for last 4 hourly candle and the penultimate 4 hourly candle to be above 0, and last 4 hourly candles output value should be at least twice or more than twice of the penultimate 4 hourly candles output value. So both these both these force index outputs should be above 0 in positive territory, and it should be rising. So that's the requirement on the 4 hours. And after that, we want the spurt in price action in last hour. So we will be comparing the last hour's force index output to the penultimate hour's force index output, and it should be more than 5 times, and only in that case the trade will be placed. And I'm taking 5 times simply to make sure there is enough of momentum, enough of price move, and as a result of that the force index output is rising multifold, and that is the logic behind this condition. And if these two conditions get fulfilled, we will be placing the order, which will be a limit order. So that means it will be below the current market price with the order validity of 1 hour. And we will take the last hourly candles difference of the closing and the opening price, and whatever is the difference we will take half of it, and we will place the buy order by that amount from the current market price. So the difference between the current market price and the limit order price is going to be half of the last hourly candles opening and the closing difference. That is the whole logic of this algorithm. Now let us get to the execution part. And first thing first, we will need to take a calculation expression block, mathematical component. Okay, and here we will take the last hourly candle, which is candle 18's closing and opening difference. For the buy side of the trade, we will need its closing value to be greater than opening value. So this time around, we will deduct the opening price from the closing price, but when we will be defining the sale trade, we will need its closing value to be lower than the opening price, and in that instance, we will have to deduct the closing price from the opening price, and these two differences will be there. Auto created variable candle 18. Candle 18 is last hourly candle with the look back period of 1. We take its close and deduct its opening price, and it is going to be A1 minus A2, and this will be difference. Okay, we will deduct this difference from the last tick price. So we are going to need one more calculation expression block. On tick, last tick, and you will do last tick bid or ask. I will take bid and deduct the difference. So again it is going to be A1 minus A2, and this will be the execution price for the buy trade. We will have to also define the order validity. Order validity is going to be 1 hour. So right away I will carry out that calculation also. Last tick time, and we will need to add 3.6 million ticks to it. So I have to create a new variable, and the value will be 3.6 million. I think I'm right. A1 plus A2. I will not define this output value variable just yet. Once we bring in the trade command block, we will define the variable there and assign this output value to that variable. So now we start defining the conditions using the if blocks for execution to happen whenever we feel or whenever we have the market conditions in favor of the trade. So we will need logical blocks. We are going to need a couple of it. I don't know exactly how many just yet. So I will take 6, 7 of these. Okay, if required later on, we can always add. Out 14 needs to be greater than 0. First input greater than second input. Out 15 also needs to be greater than 0. Same thing for hourly time period. Out 16 and out 17 also needs to be above 0. After that, we have to compare these two values, out 14 and out 15, and we need the out 14 to be greater than twice of out 15. So again, we will need to take calculation expression blocks and multiply these output value by 2, and similarly we will also going to be comparing these out 16 with out 17, and this time around the difference required is going to be 5 times. So I will carry out both of these calculations straight away. We take in two more calculation expression blocks. I will create a new variable. Out 17 will need to be multiplied by 5. So again, new variable needs to be created. This has value of 2. Now this has value of 2, and I think no, it's all right. I got a bit confused. Okay, sorry for that. Again, there is going to be A1 into A2. Alright, now again we will have to carry out the comparison. First input greater than second input. The out 14 will need to be compared to the twice of out 15, which is FFH. So again, first input greater than second input. And out 16 will need to be greater than 5 times of out 17, which is FFO. Again, first input greater than second input. And after that, all we need to do is make sure that the last hourly candle has closed higher. So we need to compare its closing value and opening value. Candle 18 close needs to be greater than candle 18 candle open. First input greater than second input. And once we are done with this, we need to figure out the point of entry, and for that we will need the logical components, if blocks, 2 more, and we will compare the candle 18 candle close with the closing values of candle 19 and candle 20. Candle 19 has a look back period of 1, so its closing value needs to be higher, whereas candle 20's closing will need to be lower compared to the candle 18 candle close. Candle 18 candle close will be the common input, and candle 19, candle close, candle 18, candle close, first input greater than second input, then again first input greater than second input, candle 19, candle close will need to be less. In this instance, first input less than second input. Okay. And after this, the trade command block will be added, and it is going to be pending open by limit. First input less than second input. Okay. Let me first arrange these if blocks and join them to multiple action. Okay. Now let us bring in the multiple action. For the time being, I will join it here. And on the lower side, we will join it to the block. Now coming to the defining of parameters for the trade command block. The execution price we have already defined, and that variable is here, so it will be put here. After that comes the default instrument, which is going to be USD JPY. Trade amount I will go with 0.1 million. Slippage is going to be 2 pips. Stop loss we will go with a static stop loss of 15 pips, and take profit is going to be 30 pips, which will get us the risk reward ratio of 1:2. And the order validity, which we have already defined, so I will create a variable here. We'll name it OVT, and it will be assigned to this block. Okay, so 1 hour is going to be order validity. Whenever the order gets placed, it will remain valid for 1 hour unless the order gets executed before that. So with this, our buy side of the equation is complete. I hope you have been able to understand the logical and the execution part of this. and hopefully you will be trying it out on your own. And once you are done with that, you can see how it performs by running the test runs on historical data on JForex platform. And to come back for the next session, in which the focus is going to be shifting to the construction of the sell side of the equation. We will see how we can go on to build a symmetrical algorithm with both sides well defined for the execution of the trades. So that's it from my side for